As we all know, World Zero has sort of been in this loop when it comes to updates. For example, they would release a new floor, new dungeons to go with that floor, a tower, a new level cap, and mix that in with 3 or 4 battle passes a year and maybe like 2 or 3 events a year. And that's basically it for World Zero. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Don't get me wrong. I appreciate these updates. These updates is why the game is still alive. These updates is why the game still has over 3,000, 4,000 people playing every day. These updates are the reason why I keep coming back every once in a while to play the game and to have fun, and sit there and waste 2 or 3 hours of my time just playing it. These updates are good. They should keep happening. I'm not saying, they should go away or they should change. No, keep these updates. They're good for the community. But what I am saying is that we need different type of updates. We need gameplay features. We need stuff that really changes the game for some people, and stuff that will like bring in new people into the game. Now, what am I talking about? Now, of course, a lot of people, me included, we talked about player housing, we talked about guild stuff, we talked about PvP stuff. But I haven't seen many people talk about mini games or just little fun activities. I mean, here and there, mount racing was thrown around, and I do feel like mount racing would be pretty fun to have in the game. They should definitely think about doing something like that. But another thing that not many people talk about is just plain old mini games. Like, for example, a wave defense mini game. Now, before you guys scream at me and get mad at me for even bringing up wave defense, because I know a lot of you guys didn't like it when it was added into the towers, but hear me out. What if they made a mini game out of it where you get a bunch of rewards and you get rewarded for playing it and for clearing it and beating it and stuff? You get rewarded. Now, I probably have your attention now. So how would this feature work? How would it work? Now, imagine World 1 Dungeon 2. If you guys don't know what that dungeon is, I think it's Dungeon 2. It's basically the dungeon where you have to protect the scarecrows from the crows. And that dungeon, honestly, is one of my favorite dungeons in the game. I kind of like that dungeon a lot. And that's because it has sort of a wave defense feel to it. You have to protect these scarecrows from being destroyed. If they're destroyed, you lose. But if you manage to protect them, you win. And I really do like that. I really like that idea. And I think they should turn that into a whole mini game to where players could win big prizes. For example, let's say you have to protect a castle, right? And they could change it up. They could add all sorts of different wave defenses. They could change it up. They could add new themes, new enemies, etc., etc. They could change it up. But let's say, as an example, you have to defend a castle, right? You have to defend a little castle. There'd be like a model of a castle behind you. You have to defend it from enemies that are coming inwards towards the castle, and you have to defend it. You have to kill off the enemies. Maybe every 5th round or 5th wave, there's a boss that you have to fight, and it just keeps going on. And let's say you get to wave 20. Wave 20 will be the last wave, and at wave 20, there's like this really unique boss fight. I'm talking like you have to really sit there and like just pay attention to what you're doing if you want to defeat this boss. And let's say after you defeat him, after you defeat wave 20, you get your rewards. You get a title, you get gold, and you get crystals. Now you might be like, well, a title, gold, and crystals, that doesn't really sound like a lot. Loud, cannot speak. Titles, gold, and crystals don't sound like a lot. And yeah, at first it doesn't sound like a lot. But what if I told you you are rewarded 200k gold, 15, maybe 20 crystals, and you get like a title depending on how far that you went in. Like if you made it to wave 5, you get a green title, wave 10 a blue one, wave 15 a purple, wave 20 a legendary title. Now I probably have your attention. With that one. You get crystals, you get a bunch of gold, and it won't be like a little amount of gold like 10k, 15k, 20k. No, you're gonna get like 200k gold for doing this, for wasting 15-20 minutes of your time doing this. You're gonna get rewarded a bunch of gold, and this could help out. Oh, I just hit my mic. This could help out the community a lot for those new players who don't have really a solid way to make a lot of gold, or for even old players who just still don't have a solid way of making gold, who can't afford to sit there and spend Robux and buy cosmetics to sell them, or who just misses out on events and they don't have any cosmetics to sell. For these people, they can make a lot of gold by doing wave defenses, and it will encourage them to keep playing the game, to keep coming back every day to play these wave defenses and get that reward. Because 200k gold, who would turn that down? Honestly, who would turn that down? Unless you have like, you know, 99 million or however, wherever the cap is, who would turn down a free 200k gold just by defending a castle for 20 minutes? 200k gold, maybe 250, you know, bump up to 250, and you get some crystals out of it. Some crystals, you know, the premium currency that will be used later on for like the whole pet fusion thing. 20 crystals every time you defeat it. That's a lot of crystals. Like if it adds up, like imagine you do it 5 times and it takes you about 2 hours to do it 5 times. Well, every 2 hours you're getting 100 crystals. Like really think about it. It's really a good idea, and I think the developers would benefit a lot from this. Like I said, you could bring in a bunch of people who normally just don't like the normal World 0 gameplay loop, which is just level up, grind dungeons, grind towers, grind gear, and that's it. You could have this for people who like doing tower defenses, who like playing tower defenses. And keep in mind, there's a lot of people on Roblox, even outside of Roblox, that like tower defense type of things. So this would get those people to play World 0. This would get those people to give World 0 a chance, just because there's a tower defense minigame in World 0. This would get people to play it because they like this sort of gameplay. And I also feel like this type of update would just, it would honestly, in my opinion, skyrocket the player base. Like maybe nothing crazy like 20,000, 15,000 players, but I would definitely say it'll get the player count up to over 5,000 constantly every day, which is still pretty good, because right now World 0 sits around 2,000 to 3,000, maybe 4,000 on the weekends. But getting up to 5,000 every day, daily, that would prove a lot. Like that will help out World 0 a lot. Not only will it bring in more money so they can keep paying developers to update the game more, but it'll bring in more players, which will breathe new life into the game, get the game out there a bit more, and boom, you have like a little snowball effect where the game is just growing because you added, you know, this new feature that a lot of people will like. Now, obviously, they should test out the feature. They should like do like a little miniature version of it to the public to see how people would react to it. You know, maybe release like one wave defense game mode thing and see how people react to it if they like it. And if people really like it, you know, push those out. Maybe add a new, you know, wave defense every 3 months. You know, push out a new wave defense and let people play it and get those rewards. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my video. Sorry if I sound like I'm out of breath or if I'm talking too fast. It's really hot in my room and I cannot breathe. Like, it is so hot. You guys ever been in a really hot room and it's just like freaking, it's a struggle to breathe sometimes, like, because it's just so hot in your room? That's how it is right now. So sorry if I sound like I'm out of breath constantly, but yeah, that's pretty much my video on the update that could change everything for World 0. And I feel like this update could change a whole lot, could bring in a lot of people, could add some, you know, a much needed different gameplay loop into the game. You know, people could sit there and grind tower defenses all day. That would be a little fun thing to do on the side for gold, crystals, and, you know, a cool title and a cosmetic or whatever you want to add in for rewards, as long as they're worth it. That's the thing. If you add rewards in, they have to be worth it. Otherwise, people aren't going to want to do it and they'll hate it. So it has to be worth it. I feel 200k or 250k gold, 15 or 20 crystals, and a title, I feel that is good, worth it. I feel, at least me personally, if I was given that for playing, you know, 20 minutes of a wave defense, to me that's worth it. That's 250k gold that I can go and use to maybe buy an outfit, to maybe buy some gear, to buy a pet, whatever I need to do. That's a lot of gold. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's my update idea. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's been boy Takeoi. Peace out.